What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again, and we got another fun episode of Lights, Camera, Keco, Optical 20 Collects. And Keco's got his amazing apples that he's cut up himself with. Keco, what is that device called? What is that technology? What is that?
It's an apple cutter.
Oh, is that? See, dude, look, before you told me about that, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, because how many times do you like try to cut it, then you have to get all the apple seeds out, you have to curve them in different ways, but you've got this nice little thing, you just whoosh, throw it down there and it pops them all right out, and you got your little apple wedges to go to town on. And so apple, as we've talked about, is such a super fruit and a super vegetable, it's a super food, if you will. So all I'll just say is that as we're getting close to those New Year's resolutions, you know, people love to do that type of shit. Consider eating an apple a day. That idea of keeping the doctor away by just an apple a day or the dentist away, it's real, because there is more energy, not caffeine, but you can get just as much energy from an apple as you can from a cup of coffee.
Nice. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know that. And, I'm sure it's much healthier, because coffee, for one, will stain your teeth. And then two, it'll make you shit like crazy, depending upon your stomach.
Well, obviously, shitting is an important part of weight loss as well. You want to have a healthy bowel. You want to have an opportunity to purge regularly. So be a purge trooper out there. So
there you go, a purge trooper with your coffee. See, Optical, you don't know what show you joined, did you, bro?
Not the sharp ones. The sharp ones are not.
Yeah, not the sharp ones. No,
the sharp ones would make you get up your seat.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Optical is the apple cutter thing. Is that like a white person thing? I'm not sure. Do other people do that? Like Keco, I'm not sure, because I hadn't even heard of it. So I don't know about it. Yeah,
I thought that was like on the infomercial or something like that.
It was. Keco got that from the television.
It's Black Friday, so
it's Black Friday. That's where you got
Cole's Cash, baby.
Cole's Cash is where it's at. Anyway, guys, we have a fun show for you. Honestly, there's not too much news to talk about, but we will make the most of it, talk about some big picture topics. There are some big news topics that we can talk about, which we will talk about, like JND entering 1/6 scale, talking about the Joker, which we did talk about, Keco. We were like saying, okay, could it be the Joker? Could it not be the Joker? Ended up being, yes, it's apparently going to be the Joker. I can't find the live stream, but we'll talk about that. Nonetheless, we also got a quarter scale. Optical did a great preview. I saw of that, of the quarter scale Iron Man. And then, of course, they updated the League of Legends figure that everyone's super amped about. The one that everyone pre-ordered, that one. Maybe it's different in Asia, though. Maybe us Americans were just a little bit entitled, but I guess we'll find out. Nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this awesome live show. Of course, Friday, November 24th. Happy Black Friday. Approximately, we're about 5 minutes late, but that was because Keco was slicing apples. That's the reason for that. So it's fine. We'll pin it on him. But Optical, dude, it's been a while since you've joined. I'm glad that you're working from home today. How you doing, man?
Hey, fantastic, man. I was just like, hey, you know what? I need to work from home. It's Black Friday. Need to shop.
I need to shop online. So
you don't even need to wait Friday anymore. Back in the day,
no.
Wake up early, put up a tent or something like that. I think the deal started Monday. So
they did.
Really no reason for today.
And everything's online.
Yeah, everything's online. So,
dude, Optical, I went to Target this morning and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll look for something for Black Friday. I left with bagels. That was it, dude. That's literally all I left with.
Buy two, get one free.
Exactly, dude. Exactly, bagels. That's all it was, dude. So I was happy to get those, but I don't think they were even discounted. So I feel a little bit ripped off. But nonetheless, man, happy to have you here. I know it's been a little while, and yeah, man, working from home has its perks apparently. So, Keco, what are you drinking?
Sorry, I literally. Every time I update my computer recently, we've had all kinds of issues. When we last updated it, we found out that this was a thing to where you can start adding all these different types of emojis. I don't know if you knew that. And so let's add another one in there. You like all that stuff? Cool. So that was the last update. So then this update, there's been something going on with like my trackpad. I'm like, what in the? So now it's like moved where you actually click down to the very like bottom, like right here is where you have to click. If you click here, it's almost like a right click. You have to click here. That's how you. And so I'm trying to get it adjusted. So I was trying to adjust myself like with the mute because I've been chewing apples, drinking shit, and it sounds like ridiculous. So if anybody's out there like, what is this dude doing with like this like ASMR stuff? Which, by the way, perfect segue.
Yeah, dude, fill us in.
Perfect segue. Do you know that there is, and I've told you, like, Amy's always been saying, hey, you need to find 3 platforms to do something with, do toys, do dogs, and whatever it may be. I'm like,
Okay.
I'd rather just stick with what I'm good at, my niche, or whatever. She's like, well, the third one you should do is eating live. I'm like, what? I want you to put a chat up there because she is convinced that this is a real thing. Not a chat, a poll.
A poll. All right.
Apparently, watching people eat is a huge trend on Twitter, on social media, on Facebook, TikTok especially. Do you out there want to watch people eat? And it's so weird to me. She goes live recently, and she's been doing that, and she's like eating her lunch, and people watch her, comment, give gifts, and all kinds of stuff. And like, Will, we are doing wrong. We're sitting here trying to actually like grind and think about topics that are relevant. Apparently, you just need to grab like a stick of carrots or something and just go. That's all.
Optical, would you watch that?
All the time. It's called mukbang.
Yeah, I think that's a fetish.
That's what it's called. Yeah, it's been going on for the past mukbang, something like that.
Mukbang. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it is a thing. I had heard that term. So
yeah, it's
why is that a thing? Like people love to watch.
Well, that one girl. Have you guys saw that one girl that was like eating like octopuses, like live octopuses and shit? Like she took it to the extreme. But yeah, it's a thing.
So all that to say is that Amy told me to start eating online. I'm like, no.
I mean, it worked for her, but
sure,
she's an attractive woman, so it's different.
Yeah, I'm sure me eating a carrot's really going to go a lot different. Plus, I don't eat carrots, but I tried to eat an apple here, and I just probably gross people out. So.
Yeah, probably so. Anyway, guys, I think we learned a lot. I don't know how the poll's looking right now, but it's 93%. 93% no. So I think we're talking to the wrong audience. So
well, we know our audience, and that's what you've always said is let's stay in our lane. So
well, that's the thing, Keco. We put all the effort, Optical too. We put all this effort into making these videos, and we're like, I could just fucking eat on camera, and I could make, I could get way more views. Like, dude, come on now.
And especially if you have like some weird tick, and then we'll shut up and move on. But apparently there's this one girl, she's like, and you start making all these weird noises. Apparently that is what it takes to really get the audiences going.
We just got to find a way to.
I just realized I sound really ridiculous. I sound like a lot of other YouTubers out there making weird noises on their TVs and cameras and stuff. So I need to stop that. So let's get into the business today.
Anyway,
I'm deleted right now. So
yeah, right. Exactly. I think we've already been.
Our viewers are going down.
Yeah, exactly. They're going straight down. Anyway, guys, let's address a couple of the chats real quick. We'll jump right in. We got Jazzy here. LFG, happy Black Friday. Optical announced. Optical, the legend himself, is here, bro. Optical 20 is here. Flash Messy 10. Let's go. Keiko's videos do come in clutch. Went to my nearest comic shop and got a deal on Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Cap. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nice. Dude, you got some good figures. Maria Hodges is here. Good to see you, Maria. The movie canon. Sayful. Shout out to Sayful. Gave me some good information for this JND thing, which I'll shout out you again. Dinesh Thea Garage, a channel member. Thanks so much, bro. X-Men Supreme. Lights, Camera, Keco Collects, and Optical Collects this evening as well. Luke Christian, let's go. First time actually watching live. And oh, dude, thanks so much for joining. Keep me entertained while I work every Saturday morning, dude. Thanks so much, man. Thanks so much for joining in and, and contributing and all that. So Swoosh is here. Blurred Dad Life Jonathan, the man himself, is here. What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you. AJ Agarusa, channel member as well. Good to see you, bro. Mike Fig, Thalia Meyer, the fellow Loki fan, as always, is here. And Conquer Knight is here. Brick Artemis. We got a lot of good people here. Guys, I'm not going to waste too much more time. We want to get into our first topic of the evening. And that said, we got to talk about something that I think could be kind of interesting. And again, I do want to give a shout out to Sayful because Sayful gave me some really good information about this JND thing that's going on. Because JND apparently on this live stream, which again, I cannot find this live stream. I looked on the YouTube channel. I couldn't find it. If someone else can point me in the right direction, please let me know. But apparently during this live stream, they said the 1/6 scale figure, essentially they teased it is going to be a Heath Ledger Joker, apparently. That's what everyone's saying. I'm going to run with that because that's what everyone has been telling me. That said, Sayful on Instagram sent me some pretty interesting stuff from Kojin, actually, way back when he made a 1/6 scale figure. And this is the Al Pacino figure, as you can see here. And this is one actually that has some innovative aspects to it. So I want to run a little bit of this video on a couple different things. You can see here with this hand, right? Apparently, this might be a silicone type hand. See how it bends and articulates without an actual sort of visible joint. And actually what you can see here with this hand is that each finger articulates as well. And like all of the actual joints are underneath the layer of skin, so to speak. So this is going to be something interesting. I'm wondering if JND is going to bring this type of technology to 1/6 scale collecting, because this is something that Kojin, one of the head artists over at JND, actually did before and showcased. So I think it's pretty cool. And I also wanted to share something else that he mentioned with this figure as well. And I think that was just the actual head sculpt. But you can see here, here's what it looked like with the rooted hair and all of that good stuff and sort of the details. It's pretty crazy. So Yeah, it's just a wild thing altogether to see. But I'm wondering if they do a Heath Ledger Joker, there's a couple ways we could go about looking at this, right? Like, is there even a market for that? Maybe the only market would be to create something so innovative that people can no longer ignore it. But Keco, let's think about this. A Joker 1/6 scale, another Heath Ledger option. We already have the Artisan. We have the sculpted Hot Toys. We have the InArt double pack. We have the InArt sculpted. There's a lot of Jokers out there. And now JND apparently is entering the fold and throwing another one in the mix. Is this a smart move? And even if it's innovative, do you think this is something collectors will really buy into? What do you think?
I'm afraid that JND is going to end up with the clown makeup on their face, because I think it's not the offering that you want to jump into. And I understand it's the safe offering. There's just way too much saturation. I saw just today, or maybe it was yesterday, someone saying they got the 2-pack InArt Joker on eBay for $500. $500 for the rooted 2-pack. So,
really? It's that low?
Damn. You can't give those things away. And if the InArt Joker is out there just basically being 60% off, is a premium JND version really going to make everyone's like, oh, I'm in, here we go again. And even so, let's say they do this innovative, articulated wrist and fingers. Imagine just how bad the museum poses are going to be then, because we already have collectors in the community that don't know how to fucking pose. So imagine something that's this intricate with so many new levels and features, only to be sitting in the DTOF, Besta, Magicase, whatever, looking absolutely a fright. So I just don't. The innovation could be cool for the market, sure, but I just feel like no one's going to do this. And if we thought the Ahsoka arms were an issue, I think this is going to be an even bigger arm. The wire's popping through my wrist. Oh my God, how do I switch this out? Can I contact somebody? Nope. These aren't marketed in the USA. No customer service if you're stateside. Sorry. Look, maybe you can hopefully find some on Toy Anxiety. It's a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. And I just don't think that is something that we are ready for right now. If it was something that was, let's talk about the innovation later. That's fine. That's exciting to think about. But no more Joker. No more Heath Ledger Joker. Even if it was, I know some people were clamoring for potentially the hospital version of him, just because it's something that's different. I'm just exhausted. And even with the best technically Joker on the market, the InArt Joker, going for $500 for the tooth pack, I think that shows that people are tapped out.
That might be an anomaly though, Keco. I have not seen it go that low before. That's, maybe someone just got really lucky and bought that for that price.
Maybe, but I mean, they're obviously being sold for under retail. We do know that.
Yeah, they weren't for a while, which was interesting until Hot Toys came in, though, which a lot of people did predict that. A lot of people did say, like, once Hot Toys comes in with one, that's cheaper.
And if the artisan figures are ass, then maybe people will run back to the InArt stuff. We don't know, but there's just too much Joker saturation, especially because there was, I think, 5 different SKUs for that InArt Joker. I mean,
right. Well, because you had the single pack sculpted, the double pack sculpted, you had the double pack rooted. I guess that's it, right? Isn't just 3 SKUs, right? Yeah, 3 or 4 optical, right? So optical, and I got Art Statue Collector here, his review of the JND 1/3 scale Joker. I can only hope that they actually update the sculpt optical and update the tailoring and all that, because this was overall, it looked like a good statue, but I don't know if it was like amazingly great. I haven't seen it in person yet, but optical, I mean, so as someone who's been in collecting as long as you have, how do you feel about all this?
Dude, those hands that they showed and the neck where it moves around, I haven't seen before. That's right. But the question is at what cost? Because InArt already feels expensive, and we know JND, like, they're the most expensive statue manufacturer out there. Well, I'm pretty sure there's more expensive, but it feels like they are the most expensive. But at what cost? It seems like it's impressive. It's really impressive. But I've seen this now, like, where there's some company who makes like hands that are really realistic, and I don't know how much they cost. I've seen it from like from Bob Dylan, but I was just like, do we really get up close to figure? I was like, dude, look at those hands. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like they're creating a solution to something that's not a problem. But hey, if they're gonna do this and keep in line with the price of InArt, then because people, I think, kind of accepted the price of InArt now, which we never thought it would be a thing. We were like, oh, there's like statue collectors, Hot Toys collectors, or there's something in between. And I think InArt kind of proved that there is something in between. Like, people are willing to fork out, that kind of money. Now, where does JND slot into that? Are they going to be more expensive than InArt? Because now they're going to bring something new, or are they completely competing with InArt? So that means, hey, we're going to one up you by making articulated fingers, or neck that are move around. But it's cool. I would love to see where it leads to, but I think the price would kind of dictate. But like what Keco said, I was like, man, it's another Joker. I mean, I get it. We talked about that. I was like, they can only do Warner Brothers. So I'm not expecting them to do any Marvel. So what we see from InArt is what we're going to see from JND. So you guys are competing with one another, solely here. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's exciting.
I mean, it is exciting. It's interesting to see all this. I'm wondering, though, like, is this going to be... like, because we're thinking about price, right? Optical, I don't know, Keco, if you and I were streaming together at that point, but Optical and I were fairly skeptical in the beginning. Like, I didn't say outright that it wouldn't happen, but I think we were skeptical, maybe hesitant to think that people would pay in our prices consistently. But clearly they are. There's a lot of 1/6
Well, I wouldn't even say that they're playing it consistently yet. I mean, we've had one full release, two, 1.5 release, one that's not even going anywhere yet. So let's call it 1 3/4 releases. And so...
But people are willing to PO.
Is a deposit really a PO? It's not until the final bill comes due is when people are like, oh shit, I can't afford all these. Then they cancel.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about any mass cancellations or anything yet. But I mean, I think there's a lot of hype surrounding them. There's a lot of hype surrounding these InArt because there wouldn't be people emailing Kit and Pop Collectibles and all these other places so frequent where they have to put out statements.
Those are funny, at least.
Like, stop fucking emailing me about Gandalf. And I get why people email because you're waiting a long time and it sucks. I get it. But like those companies are like, please.
I emailed about Joker back in the day. I did.
Right. So like because they can't handle the volume there. But it's one of those that I'm wondering, like, Optical and Keco, where is the line going to be? Because we got to draw it somewhere, right? And JND Optical, they are going to be more expensive than InArt. Book it. It's not even a question to me. It's going to be more expensive. I think they view themselves as a premium line, even more premium than InArt, the double premium. That's how they view themselves in my eyes. So I think this is going to be one that you're going to see is pretty pricey. And again, like, but I'm worried about we don't know about the materials, right? I'm worried about that neck cracking. Like, what happens when you pose that neck and put him in a certain pose and the Joker's neck is cracked and then you can't get a replacement, like Keco said. So again, this is all early speculation. We don't have any sort of prototype yet. We don't have any sort of pre-order or anything like that. But it just gives me a little bit of hesitation. And also, like, again, what if this Joker, for example, comes out and it's like, okay, one figure, $800, right? That could be realistic. That could be something that we might see. It might be $750, right? Where are we going to draw the line with that? You know what I mean?
I'm not one to talk knowing what I paid for Ghostbuster figures, so
we've all done that. But
those hands, how functional could they? Like, could they actually hold like a weapon or something? Because I know with RoboCop, like it's hard to hold that hand with those articulated fingers. I'm almost be like, hey, why don't you just give us like an actual trigger finger hand? So it would, like he could grasp it, but it's not ideal. Like with this guy right here, like if you make him hold a gun, now you're bending the fingers all the way up. Maybe that's not what it's for, right? Maybe this is just for complete gesture. I don't know, but I'm sure it'll add to the cost when it's all said and done. We'll see.
It will. And we're going to have to see, like I said, 1/6 community is going to have to determine where the line is because this is going to be, I think it's really exciting. And again, it's great to see the competition, but I think it's going to push the industry again to unexpected areas. And of course, as far as prices go, new heights. Let's just say that. And again, it emboldens the other companies to charge more too. Like I'm sure Hot Toys looked at what InArt's doing and they're like, we can charge more. Like not more than InArt, but more than what we have been charging of recent. And they have done that. Like you saw Optical. Remember the prices started to slip back down a little bit. Now they've gone back up. So I don't know if again that's unrelated to InArt or related. I don't know, but it can't hurt for them to be paying attention and say like, you're paying $550 for a Gandalf. Like why won't you pay $300 for an Anakin? Like sculpted hair or not. So I don't know. It's interesting to see, man. I'm really curious to see how this shakes out, but I'm excited about it. I'm optimistic. I'm excited to see what JND does. Again, I've not owned a JND statue. I've heard some good things, heard some bad things. Not every statue is a major hit, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. Again, if it's a Joker though, I feel like the market is pretty tapped out for Joker, but it has to come in. Like if that Joker gets announced, guys, and it looks like fucking phenomenal, then you might get some people.
I mean, but what would you consider fucking phenomenal? I mean, I feel like the InArt one was fucking.
It
phenomenal.
Is really good, but like, what if it's better than that and has that type of neck that we just saw and has his hand? Dude, we like shiny new shit. You know this.
Yeah, maybe.
Like InArt basically did that. I mean, the Hot Toys one was really fucking old. I get that. But it's like, but the InArt one came in and I was like, it's got magnets and it's got rooted hair. And we were like, fuck yeah, dude, we'll pay $1,000. And then, you know, JND could come in and just do something different. Like, so, but I don't know. They got an uphill battle ahead of them. That's all I can say. Because it, you know, the Joker market is pretty tapped. I'm surprised they went with that one, to be honest. But maybe this has been in the works for a long time. And they just be like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do the Joker. So I don't know. I thought they would do like Christopher Reeve or something like that, but nonetheless, we'll see. Guys, let us know in the comments below. I think I still have the poll running about the mukbang. Yeah, so I meant to run a poll about JND, but I'll run one. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. That said, guys, let's move on to our next topic. We've got a little bit of news that we want to talk about, and that is the Hot Toys Iron Man Mark 6 quarter scale. And I'm going to ask, of course, what's the market for this? Because you know, quarter scale figures, at least in the US, I feel like they're not that popping. Like they're not, it's not something that most collectors really give a shit about. Like even I wouldn't be surprised once we start bringing this up if the numbers in this live stream start dropping, because again, even though it's Iron Man, it's quarter scale. And I think for one, most collectors like a consistent collection. They like to have all 1/6, or they don't have the space for this, or they don't want to pay the prices for this. And that's something that really factors into these type of decisions. But Keco, I want to ask you, bro, I mean, what's the market for this quarter scale Mark 6 Iron Man? I mean, we can't deny it looks fucking great, but do collectors really give a shit? They're always discounted. What do you think?
I mean, this is probably the best quarter scale Iron Man they've ever done. I mean, it's the first time they've ever gotten a full head sculpt, first time we've ever gotten any PERS system with it. It looks incredible. This is the sculpt that they should have put on the 1/6 scale Mark 6 that's being reissued. It looks so good, but once again, is if you've had a quarter scale figure in your collection, damn, you know exactly what that means when it comes to taking up the real estate and the cost. I mean, there is no way I'm paying full price for this thing because I know it's going to be discounted eventually. But if I were to have one, this might be the one to get. I mean, the battle damage looks incredible, especially the damage around the helmet and around the chest plate and everything. That looks pretty cool. But man, I do know I've seen every now and then someone's like, I'm that rare only quarter scale collector out there. And I think this is the 25th, if I recall. This is the 25th Hot Toys quarter scale figure they've put out. And I think 12 of them have been Iron Man and like 10 of them have been Batman, which is wild to think about, like the market that they have and how they've only done, you know, their bread and butters. Iron Man and Batman make up like 75% of all the quarter scale figures out there.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe they've done 25 of them. They're like, okay, well, people still keep buying them. I don't know.
Look at the battle damage, though, Keco.
It looks incredible. It looks incredible. Like if I were going to get another one, this would probably be it because I think it's one of my favorite armors, and the battle damage looks so good. If you can, like, look at that right there, the internals that you can see. I've always thought the battle damage was a little bit light on the 1/6 Mark 6, but man, this one's absolutely pristine. But the bad thing is, you have no one to pair it with. If you had a War Machine to go with it, but then think about that: 2 giant quarter scale figures. I mean, it's just not practical. I don't know, man.
And you know how I mean, the quarter scale figures look really, really cool.
Yeah,
but it's
they
just,
do.
For me, if I'm in that scale, I'd much rather have a statue, just personally. Like I would just feel like it's more conducive to have a statue because you're posing them, they're big, they could topple, whatever. I mean, you have stands, I get that, but it just like that size of figure is almost not meant for posing.
This one's also not die cast as well, right?
No, none of them are because it would just be way too fucking expensive. And it'd be too heavy, to be honest. Yeah, be too heavy. But Optical, I gotta ask you, bro. I mean, do you even collect the quarter scale Iron Man figures? Because I know, Keco, you have a few, don't you? I mean, you have a few Iron Man quarter scales, or you have a couple quarter scales in general, like Vader and shit like that, Mando. But Optical, do you collect any quarter scale Hot Toys at all?
I have 2. Like I got that Spider-Man behind me.
Oh, the Spider-Man, yeah.
Remember from those days where we got castrated because
those days from buying
from T-Dubs, where it was like now you're not cool if you buy from T-Dubs anymore.
Well, now the website's down. So
yeah, and that is when we crashed it now. But
it was our fault that Spider-Man purchase broke the website 3 years later, whatever.
3 years later, it was like those bastards. we were the bad guys back then, taking advantage of this poor guy with his, stepdaughter. I made up the stepdaughter fight. But yeah, I got 2. Here's the thing, I love them. They're so cool. They're so good. The thing is, if you collect 1/6, And every collector goes through this. You're gonna be like, man, I'm running out of space. I'm gonna purge. They're the first one who comes up all the time. Like, I'm gonna sell these 2 quarter scales.
I'm selling these fucking quarter scales.
I'm gonna sell these 2 guys. They're too big. They take up too much space. And then no one buys them. You're gonna be like, man, they're so cool. I can't sell them for 300 because they're so cool. So I'm gonna sell them for 350. And then no one buys them because on Sideshow they're 350. And then you end up keeping them, and then you go through the cycle all over again when you feel like, because the thing is, when you collect 1/6, it's inevitable that you're gonna get more and more and more because they're easy to buy, and they're the ones who always keeps on popping up in your head. It's like, all right, I'm gonna sell this Spider-Man. All right, I'm gonna sell that Mando, and then no one buys them, and then and then that's what's gonna happen if I buy this. So, but they're so cool. They're. I feel like this is so much better than the 1/6 counterpart, in my opinion.
I think so.
But
too.
at the same time, like Keco said, you can't buy this full price because in a year it's still there. Kind of like that Batman right now. I want it. I want that.
I kind of do too.
I want that Dark Knight. Damn, I want even that Mark 42. It's $450 now, and I was just like, man, okay. And then you keep on. You keep on moving the goalposts. It's like if that becomes before it was 600. It was like it becomes 500. I'll buy it. It became 5. It's like 450. Now it's 450. I was like 350. It's just they're just hard to buy. I don't know why. I think it's the size.
I think it's the size and just the overall dedication.
Because if you buy them for cheap, at least you can say that. It's like, oh man, I bought this like half the price. It's like even though it's huge and you take up space, it's cool and it's cheap. But if you buy it full price, it's just like, oh god damn it.
It's true, bro, because and look, almost all the quarter scales get discounted. I think those times are changing though for all Hot Toys figures. They're making less. They're saying we're not going to overproduce the fuck out of these. We're going to make just what we need, maybe a little bit more, and give ourselves a little bit of flexibility and leeway there. But those quarter scale figures always sit, man. They sit on the website for feels like years. They get discounted like crazy, and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to wait for pop culture to get this Batman for $350 or $250, whatever, and then you're just like, I'll just buy it then for cheap, right? Yeah. That's what most people end up doing. I feel like at least the collectors maybe that are aware of other retailers besides Sideshow. And then this Iron Man is no different, right? It looks fucking amazing, but they must have some data out there that shows that people really like these quarter scale figures, but we just don't know because people in the US, I feel like, just don't give a shit. Like they look great, but it's just, they don't care. Like if it's not 1/6 scale, it doesn't matter. Like even Keco, for example, if it were a quarter scale Anakin Skywalker, I bet you still might get some people interested, but still.
I would be 100%. I've said that before because everyone's going to have their favorite figure, their favorite character that represents them. And so I think that a quarter scale Anakin would 100% sell just because of how cool it would be.
I mean, I guess it could because
I have the quarter scale Vader. Imagine that with Anakin. I mean, that'd be sick.
But even that Vader right now, Keco, as great as that figure is, you can still find people selling it at or below retail. I mean, it's not like it's like the most desired, coveted thing ever. And it's a great quarter scale figure. It's great. But, it's never a matter of quality with these. It's just like a matter of popularity and interest. Like, it's like they're fucking all like, I think this is one of the better head sculpts I've seen of RDJ, to be honest. Like, I think this is great.
I know some people were not liking the hair on it, but I think it looks absolutely spectacular.
I think so too, man. I think it looks great. And then just seeing the battle damage is just fucking, and you got the clean parts, of course, too, interchangeable battle damage parts, the light up areas, a really cool base. I mean, this thing is pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Again, it's not even a matter of quality. It's just a matter of like, do people care? Like that.
Let me ask Keco though. Keco, when was the last time, do you remember reposting your quarter scale or even taking it out to take a picture? Do you even remember that?
I don't because I don't take it out to take a picture because it's too much of a hassle to put back on. Yeah,
it's massive. It's massive. So that's I said that on my preview and I was just 100%. Like, I think it took out the flexibility of 1/6 for me because even though you could post them, you almost don't want to because you feel like you're going to break something or they're too big because they're already big. And then if you spread Iron Man's wings, not wings, his hands like that, then it's going to bump into other figures and whatnot. So they end up just standing like a massive 1/6 scale. And I feel like I think I'm telling myself that whenever I'm about to pull a trigger on quarter scale, it's like, when was the last time I post this guy or even took him out to take a picture? Because I like taking pictures of my figures. But I was just like, when was the last time I did that?
Well, see, that's the thing, Optical, too, because you raise a really good point there. Even if you get a quarter scale statue or higher scale than that, how often do you even change the swap outs? Right? Not that much. Like, it's just, even then, and that's much simpler. It's a magnet. You plug it in, you feel locked and loaded, you're ready to go. But with a quarter scale figure, it's a big boy. It's a big boy. And it's just, I've had one quarter scale hot toy and it was the Joker, the Heath Ledger. I actually really liked it for a while, but then Queen Studios started coming out with statues and I was like, yeah, I'd rather have a statue. And it's a good figure, but I don't know.
Dude, I think once you reach an X amount of collectibles, those goes out the window. Like even the swap outs. I'm talking about like you don't even reposition them. You're just like, all right, it's here. I'm not gonna move it ever. It's here. I'm just gonna dust it off every once in a while. But these are great if you have like 5, maybe like 5 quarter scale. Just but once you reach an X amount of collectibles, it just like kind of like, what's the practicality? Like, yeah, you could pose.
It's that.
Will I?
And it's that, and for most collectors, Optical, like I mentioned, the people watching this show right now, they're 1/6 scale collectors. So when you throw a 1/4 scale figure in there, they got to figure out what the fuck they're going to do with it, because it doesn't scale with the rest of your shit. So then you got to put it in its own separate display, maybe, or somehow mix it in with your other stuff. And then people will be like, "Why is this one bigger than that one?" And it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's it's just it opens a whole can of worms. And most collectors are like, do I even want to pay that? Do I even want to put in the energy and the effort to figure out the display that way? Most people say no. So it's a great figure, though. I got to say, I saw this, I think this morning. Yeah. And I was like, this is really cool, actually. This is really cool. But yeah, you got to essentially be a fan of 1/4 scale figures, or really you probably have no interest in this whatsoever. But I'm glad they're doing them for the people that do want them, especially for Iron Man. I mean, it's a cool ass figure. They're really going to milk those iconic Iron Man suits, to all the major iconic ones that people love. They're going to go after those. And I'm glad that people are getting sort of 2.0s or new versions or whatever of these. So I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Got the Iron Man Mark 6 quarter scale. So I don't know. If you're going to buy it, let us know in the comments below. Again, if you want it, again, no shade whatsoever. It's just not going to be for me, I think, but it looks like an amazing figure. Let's talk about something else that's a little more current and, of course, topical. Let's talk about Black Friday. Black Friday is an event that, it's a worldwide thing. It's obviously far outside of collecting, right? We talk about, like Optical was saying before the show, used to go out and put up a tent in front of the store, wait for like some electronic deals, PlayStation, TVs, whatever. And nowadays, people don't even really do that as much. It seems like you can buy stuff online. You can go at different hours of the day. They still got shit that you want. It's much more accessible. But with collecting, has it ever really been something that has been worthwhile for us? Has it ever been something where, it's really been that big of a deal? And we had a video that was made, actually. And it was Mr. Keco Collects made a wonderful video about this. Love the outfit, by the way. So much style with this sweater, Keco. That, absolutely top tier style there, bro. But is Black Friday, Keco, in a worthwhile event for 1/6 scale collectors? I know you did a video on this. I'll let you kind of summarize that real quick. But after seeing these deals that have been announced, I feel like it's been better this year, but still kind of, did we get our hopes up? What do you think?
I have never understood. I used to work retail back in the day, and there was nothing worse than the Black Friday fucks that would come in. And like, I would have to get there at 3 a.m. when everyone was, like you had said, lined up in the tents. That wasn't too long ago. That was only like 10 years ago, maybe at most. I remember I used to drive back from Nashville to Cincinnati, and every time I'd go past 65, when you're going through Louisville, it's the overpass. There was a Best Buy right there on the overpass. You could see what's going on. Every time I drove by, you'd see the tents at Best Buy, because everyone wanted their $49.99, Vizio TV or whatever it may be. And they're, oh shit, I gotta get it. I've never understood, and then here's a little rant coming. I've never understood the people that were so excited to like leave their family to be able to spend the night in a cold, dark parking lot just so that you could save like $20. I never understood that. Maybe, and this is coming from somebody that had a drug addicted and alcoholic father. So I get wanting to like leave the family and like be away from things, but at the same time, I'm not trading that for sitting in a parking lot for saving $10. So no. There is nothing worthwhile unless this is going to be your first figure ever, and you'll be like, sweet, let me check this out. Let me figure out what's out there. Wow, these things are a good deal. Maybe I should just try it out, since these are some pretty decent deals. Sure. But if you're a real collector, not even a real collector, but if you're a collector that has more than 3 or 4 figures, most likely there is nothing on here that's going to make you say, wow, I really think I'm going to get it now. Because I've said before, and this is what I said in the video, 5, 10, 15% off means nothing to me, because that doesn't even negate some of the sales tax in my area. It's 10% sales tax here in Tennessee. So at most, even if it's 10%, that doesn't do anything for me. So it's got to be at least like 35% off for me to even start thinking about it. And then think of all the things that are offered here. How many people don't already have most of the things that are on here? There's no new figures. There's nothing that has been like, oh, this is a steal. It'd be different if they did like the lotto system and be like, hey, I'm just trying to think of the most really. I'm just going to throw it out there. The D100 Iron Man or something that they just recently had. You know, the numbered thing. We're going to be given 15 D100 Iron Mans. You know, for the first people in line or whatever, and you can get it for $300. Sure, that sounds like a Black Friday deal or whatever. But I mean, Barber Stan Lee is on there again,
off.
and still people aren't going for that.
No, because it was free before.
And that's the whole thing about this is that the Hot Toys is not Walmart, Target, Best Buy, anything. They're not a big box store. So Sideshow is basically doing the commands of their, business partner here, and they're not going to be sitting there. They're already razor thin margins. Everyone knows that. There's not a secret about those. So they're not going to sit there and take losses continually on things. So it just doesn't make any sense to me for people that are thinking, I'm going to hold out for, something that's going to be great. Sure, go ahead. But like, you are not going to get me on this stuff, especially the BOGO thing. I've never understood the buy one, get one half off. Yeah, because it's like, then it becomes 25% off for both. And then you're having to buy two things that you may not even want. Do you actually want these things? Or are you just saying, oh, look, I got a little extra money. Let me go and buy something. No one wants these things. They're not high in demand. They're not putting high demand figures out there.
No. And I think, to be honest, these days are changing. Like, I do think they're stocking less of these. And of course, the figures that you're going to see in future Black Fridays are going to be the real sitters that have been sitting there for multiple years even. I think that's the kind of stuff you're going to start seeing. Like Cable, for example, Captain Marvel, these ones you're seeing, Johnny Silverhand, right? Optical, you've been in this game, like I said, longer than Keco and I even have. And I'm wondering, like, after all you've seen over the years with Black Friday, has it ever really been an event for 1/6 that really felt that significant?
Here's the problem with Black Friday is because it's so close to Spectacular that you can't help but compare the sales. Spectacular, there's more 35% off. And we're talking about just Hot Toys here because I didn't explore all the
statues. Just Hot Toys.
Because on the statue side, I've seen like Superman, which is cool, 25% off. Like for us, it's easy to dismiss this, guys, because we can get them somewhere, right? Like if you're, I'm talking about if you're new coming into the game, I was like, okay, Black Friday, here we go. The problem is if you're new, it's either you just started today and you weren't present 2 weeks ago because literally Spectacular was there. So that's the thing. Like I've seen some deals in here that I would be like, guys, we remember it was two weeks ago. That cap was 35% off. Now it's 25. Right. Don't get me wrong. I was hoping for a sale, kind of like, hey, if you buy, let's say 350 worth, you'll get, Transport Trooper, something like this. They can't give those away. If that was the case, maybe I'll jump on it because I kind of want Transport Trooper, but I'm not gonna buy it. So maybe I'll buy something that I kind of want.
You don't really want Transport Trooper.
I don't. I really don't. But like those kind of things. This is where it became pointless, is because of Spectacular. Because it was 2 weeks ago. We didn't forget.
What about Geeksgiving too? Right?
It was Geeksgiving too. Kind of like. So you're recycling sales from a week ago and then 2 weeks ago that we've seen before, and then we're gonna get all these emails. Well, outside of the $5 that we get for signing up, that used to be 10, by the way. That used to be 20. But like outside of those, it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take a look at this, and then you look at it. It was like, oh, if I buy something, you get 50% off the Boba 2-pack.
And let me just say, spoiler alert. Nothing's going to be coming on Cyber Monday either. There's not going to be special deals for that either. So if you're really thinking about pulling the trigger today, go ahead, because you're not getting anything on Cyber Monday either. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
They're just probably going to swap what's 25%.
Right. They just swap them back and forth. Yeah.
All right. Replace the tag.
Well, and so, because you raise a really good point, Optical, it's a matter of like, it maybe doesn't feel special enough. It doesn't feel like an event enough. Because they can only go so high with the discounts. I get that. It's a business. They want it. They don't want to fucking lose a ton of money. So they can only go so high. It's not going to be like 50% off, right? I get that. But maybe it needs, like, maybe they need to cut the discounts back on Spectacular or something, or whatever event they want to be bigger, right? That one. And then they do that. But if they're all the same,
people are going to hate you for this, but maybe make this bigger.
What do you mean, like lower the discount?
You're going to be like, pull back, guys. Pull back on Spectacular and give
I mean, do something where it's like makes one of them feel a little more significant, because right now they feel like the same thing.
Silverhand, if you spend 500, give away Johnny Silverhand, for crying out loud, something like that,
Right. Yeah, for example, give away Stanley Barber. Give away,
Yeah,
you know,
they were
like,
giving him away. No,
yeah,
they
like,
were
you know,
returning it. It was like, no, I'm good.
for every Queel and Blurg, you get a Stanley Barber. That's, you know, it's gonna be perfect. You'll get everything you want in one package. And remember, they were giving away Captain Marvel when everyone was like, delete from cart. They wouldn't even take
I
it
gotta
for
pay
free.
for shipping, which is $12.
No, people started then throwing it on the buy sell trades like Captain Marvel $50. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, that's a free
right.
$50. You know, that's what they were trying to think about it there.
Exactly,
But
they were.
as I did say in the video, and I think someone even commented, if you're looking for deals for Black Friday, always, or even the holidays, go to your local comic shops. They're the ones that are trying to move inventory out, and that's where you'll find the deals. I think I've had a few people message me saying they were able to do that. So that's your best bet if you're looking for actual deals on anything this year.
Nice. Well, guys, let us know if you picked up any figures on discount here on Black Friday. I mean, again, to be fair, not just because I work with them, but Comic Concepts has some pretty good discounts. I can see on the website there for Hot Toys and statues and other stuff. So there is that type of stuff. I know Kit had some good discounts as well for third party and stuff like that, because you're not really getting InArt at this point. They're not really stocking that, right? It sells out. So, you know, but as far as third party and some Hot Toys on there, it's pretty good discounts there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It never really feels like enough of an event to me. Now, again, and I don't want to come across as ungrateful, because they are giving discounts to collectors, and that's great. I'm glad that it's more accessible and people can get stuff that maybe they were sitting on for a while. But you know, I don't know. It doesn't quite feel like an event as much as it should. But you know, I get there's a bottom line, there's budget and stuff like that. So not the end of the world, but still happy people are getting discounts nonetheless. That said, guys, let's talk about some other stuff here that I think is going to be pretty interesting. And that said, I think really what we want to talk about is pre-order, right? This was a video I made, I think it was last week, right? I made the top 20 Hot Toys on pre-order. Keco dropped a fire comment, Optical, that I got, that I pinned. A lot of people liked it because he was like, fake news, because I put John Wick ahead of Anakin, and I put and I only put one Wanda on the list. I didn't put Multiverse Wanda on there. And Keco, he texted me. He was like, I just kept watching, and Wanda just came, the list came and went, and there was no Wanda. I was like, I can only put one, dude. I did put like 4 or 5 Spider-Men on there though, so I did put a lot of those.
Correct. The math ain't mathing, buddy. So please go ahead. I'll interject in a moment.
It wasn't, dude. It wasn't. So I actually did. I think I got one comment. Actually, I was surprised by this, Optical and Keco, because like someone said that my choice of Darth Vader at number 1 was a terrible choice. It was laughable, and I was like, really? I thought that would be like a fan favorite. I thought that would be for sure. Like that is my honest choice, but I thought for sure that would be an easy number 1 for people. That said, I want you guys in the chat to weigh in. What is the number 1 hot toy on pre-order that's most exciting for you? Keco, I want you to brainstorm. I mean, it's probably Artist Anakin, but tell me anyway.
Well, I don't have Artist Anakin.
But you're going to get it.
Go ahead and rub that back into my face.
You're going to get it, dude.
But no, as I've said, the number 1 most anticipated figure for me is Multiverse of Madness Wanda, because I feel like that is the best one, that as far as the head sculpt goes, the outfit, the deluxe with that really cool, you know, flame effect and the candle vigil and all that. I'm really excited about that one. So when Mom Wanda comes out, and obviously the Artisan Wanda, those are excited. But this is the one that's most excited for me, just because I loved people hated that movie. I loved her in this, and it's just not just me simping for her. I really liked the whole character art, some of the coolest moments, especially when she's like, you know, I'm not a monster, I'm a mother, you know, stuff like that. I like that. I vibed with that. So Multiverse of Madness Wanda, I think we're going to probably see the best Liz Olsen head sculpt to date when that one ends up coming out. So, and for all the people complaining about the arms on the WandaVision one, this is going to fix it for you, because it's got, you know, sleeves all the way down. So I'm excited for it. So this is going to be mine. And then I don't think it's going to be coming out in this calendar year, but if they do want to move it up, the Grand Admiral himself is definitely on the list. So I think he's probably going to be early 2025. But yeah, Grand Admiral Thrawn, when he drops, will definitely be the heat.
So Keco, you would pick this over Artisan Wanda?
Yeah, because I already got the Civil War version essentially. So, but this one I think is a cool. It comes with more stuff. Cool.
But it comes with a candle diorama, dude.
That's beautiful. That's sick, dude.
It is pretty cool. I mean, you don't really.
I mean, look at that sculpt, bro. That's sick.
That is pretty cool, and the crown is pretty cool. Interchangeable hairstyles. It's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. No cap.
I mean, that's a great picture right there. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, look, maybe I should have put her in the top 20. I don't know. I think Riley brought up that I should have put Tobey Maguire in there. I was like, that probably would have been a good one. But yeah,
I know people are really excited about that. Unless your name's Nick, because he doesn't like the way the body is on any. He
doesn't like anything about any Spider-Man figure.
That's true. Like no one hates Spider-Man more than Nick.
Exactly.
And he loves Spider-Man.
Exactly. All right. Well, Optical, what about you, bro? What's the most exciting hot toy on pre-order for you?
My question is, did you pre-ordered all those 20 pre-orders?
Dude, every single fucking one, dude. All 20 of them. I got them all from Pop Collectibles.
You're such a shill. You're such a shill.
I didn't pre-order them, but I pre-ordered them at Comic Concepts. But
oh, dude, if I did pre-order, that's where it would be.
No, I have 2 pre-orders coming up next year. I got 2. It's embarrassing. Well, out of those 2, I got top 2 basically. Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, because that
really that's number 1.
Well, I only have 2, so I really only have 2 pre-orders.
You mean you already have 2 Tobey Maguires?
No, I only have 2 pre-orders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I pre-ordered that, and for some reason I pre-ordered Obi-Wan. I don't know why I did that. But
wait, the Kenobi Obi-Wan?
The Kenobi
yeah, you fucked up.
Or the general.
I know. My son really loved the movie. I mean, the show. So I was just like, all right, we'll get it, boy. And I was just like, what the fuck did I just do? This is probably going to be 30% off after 2025.
I don't know about a Kenobi. I don't know if it's just going to be sitting around.
I don't think it's going to be sitting around, but I don't know if it's going to be good is the question.
Most likely not. Yeah.
You're right.
That is why it's going to sit around, but maybe not. Ahsoka didn't sit around.
I think Ahsoka a figure called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Optical.
Yes, it is.
I think it is.
Okay, we're going to find it. Because misspelling. Oh, I spelled neighbor wrong. No, I didn't. Okay, I'll find it anyway. But so that's your number 1.
That's my number 1. Yeah, I because that would close the chapter for my No Way Home. Once it's done, because that's the only figure that I'm missing from that line. So I even bought the black and gold suit. I don't know why. Don't ask questions.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, dude, I think it looks good, but again, maybe I'm an ignorant bitch because, the Spider-Man diehards are saying it's not good. So,
well, I mean, it's a good looking figure. It's just not what he wore in the movie, So it's
right.
That plastic disc on his chest though was god awful.
Yeah,
this one?
Not my finest moment, but yeah, I get the black and gold.
Oh, but
we're shitting on that one. This one's great.
This figure looks pretty dope.
Good. Yeah, this one looks good.
And it's a cool base, cool head sculpt. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Dude, how is no one... Guys, let us know in the chat. Am I on an island here with Darth Vader? Like Darth Vader, Kenobi, Deluxe, Battle Damage?
We've just had so many Darth Vaders.
But not like this one.
It's only a different head sculpt, some people would say. But to me, if you really want a Vader, you probably have a Vader. Most people do not, or no one has a Tobey Spider-Man. Speaking about Optical, no one's got this Wanda. So, and of course, no one's going to have Grand Admiral Thrawn. So it's the first of a certain figure, I think, is what more people would be hyped about because there's none of those available.
Yeah, makes sense. But again, I think, Keco, this is the most unique Darth Vader that has ever been made in 1/6. I mean, it's got battle damage. It's got a half helmeted head sculpt. When are we going to get this again, dude? When are you going to get a battle damage half Vader like this again? I don't know.
When they do a live action Rebels again and Ahsoka fights Darth Vader with the helmet again.
When they do a recast.
Yeah, they could recast.
See that on eBay.
They could. Well, think of it this way, Optical. Well, you got Dave Filoni now, just got promoted, so he's gonna maybe do like Keco said, a Rebels type of thing where you get more of this type of shit. And honestly, I think Hayden seems to like playing Darth Vader, and people love him playing Darth Vader and Anakin again. So why not just keep bringing him back for everything? I mean, it's like he seems like he wants to do it, and people want him to do it. So why not? So I don't know, man. I just think this figure is like so fucking good. Like I literally sold my Empire Vader, which I loved, because I knew I only had space for one Vader, and I've just been waiting for this one to release, and I just had no Vader right there for a while.
Can I be a little bit edgy?
Yeah. Be edgy, dude. Go for it.
For me, as cool as this looks, this is still Vader getting his ass kicked again, unfortunately, and there's no reason that he should be getting his ass kicked at this point in his life.
So I guess the plot demanded it.
Peak Vader at this point. It's supposed to be like Prime Vader, right?
Yeah, and he still got hosed by Obi-Wan, and that was an egregious mistake, I think, in that film or in that show, but neither here nor there. But when you're thinking of Vader, it's Rogue One, it's Empire, where he's just owning fools. That's the thing. Here he got his ass kicked again. And to me, yes, I'm super excited about this. But when I see that, I do not see battle damage. I see someone that got played. And like, damn, I feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it looks fucking cool. So, and at the end of the day, I mean, that's what most collectors are going to. But look, people bought Morbius. right? People bought Morbius, and that movie is
I bought Morbius. I can't wait for that.
See,
one.
there you go. There you go. See, because he had bats and he looked cool, but that's, you know,
it's going to pair awesome with my Sydney Sweeney Spider-Woman when that ends up coming out. So I can't wait for that.
Are you talking about the Madam Web thing?
Madam Web, yeah.
Dude, that looked atrocious. That looked like
it does not. It
looks like a fucking
cool.
travesty, dude.
No way. Everyone's like, it's a CW film. No, just wait. Let them cook.
Did you like the trailer? I don't remember.
I did because but we're completely off topic right now. But this is the first time that we're trying to get something that's different, and it's Loki vibes or whatever. You know, just kind of rewinding time to kind of get.
Don't put that evil on Loki, bro.
No. I'm just saying, but it works, and if you do it coherently, and it's an opportunity to build out the Spider-Verse, which I thought people like, but oh no, because you know it doesn't have the actual Peter Parker or anything in that or Miles. And for people saying the trailer's horrendous, shame on you.
No, they're right, dude.
Let these people cook. I promise you it's going to be good. 50 Shades of Web, someone's saying.
Yeah, dude, maybe it'll be good, but I'd say the odds are not in his favor. It doesn't look.
Just wait for Michael Keaton's Vulture to swing in and an after credit scene and Venom start to show up again. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
Then people will lose their shit. Yeah, and then wait for Aaron Taylor Johnson's Craven to show up. But, I want to throw out just something real quick before we move on to our next topic. I'm going to get a little bit of hate for this one, Keco. More hate than I've gotten for all of my Star Wars takes. And Optical.
Possible?
I don't think so. But Spider-Man 2 was just okay.
Ooh.
Like the video game. Like I liked it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I give it like an 8. Thought it was pretty good. There's no fucking story. It's just like, maybe I'm just such a bitch for story because Optical, we play Last of Us, right? Like play Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, stuff
one
like
was
that.
really good. I haven't played 2, so I can't really call
the one. I liked 1 more. I felt like 1 had a tighter narrative and overall story, and this one, it's just a lot of cool shit happening, and that's great.
Can I speak to spoilers then about why I thought it was good?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So with that being said, is that I don't see where if you like Spider-Man 1, there's no real like, oh, gotcha moments, because it was kind of like when the fact that Aunt May died and things like that in the first one, no one saw that coming. But so this was kind of almost like a copy paste of like having a heartbreaking moment towards the end because you knew it was coming, and a pull at your heartstrings type of thing. And then Spider-Man retiring to kind of give the mask to Miles. But I think it's almost like it's a bridge game that's going to set up a masterpiece of a third game, because the end credit scenes where it shows Norman talking to Otto and all that. And I think it's going to be the final chapter. I think it's going to be awesome, when they finally pull that off. But I liked the dynamic of him fighting his best friend and ultimately, struggling with the fact that I overcame adversity. And while doing that, he's imparting all that knowledge to Miles at the same time so that he can rule the city and do the things that he needs to do. Because I thought the Miles arc was better. Like when he decides to not end up killing, Mr. Negative and everything. And he says, you know what, I'll forgive, but I'll never forget type of thing. That was really, really cool. And
it was really good.
I like that, but I was okay with it.
And
Take away the stupid MJ shit, and I think it goes up a whole nother point.
And I like Venom a lot. I thought Venom was great. Yeah. But it's just like a lot of cool shit. And it's a lot of, there's nothing inherently wrong with fan service. I think it's a good thing to service your fans. I think they did a really good job of that, but it's just a lot. It feels like it's like a lot of, it's like, this is really cool. Wouldn't you love to do this? And they're like, yeah. And then they give you that, but then it's like, what's the story beat of that? And that's kind of where maybe I lose it a little bit, because I just value a little more narratively story-driven games. Like, and that's just, because it's like Optical knows, like Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima and stuff. It's great gameplay, but it's also like an interactive movie. Kind of like, and that's maybe that's just what I prefer a little bit.
Dude, so and God, is it a cliffhanger like the ending? I don't know. My kids are
kind of.
So it's
it ends definitively, but it gives you there's more to come for sure.
Because I kind of feel like the way you feel now with Across the Spider-Verse or whatever. I feel like
I
feel like the first one was better for me, like the movie wise. The movie
the first one had an ending. The second one didn't.
True.
Yeah. But it's the same Optical, but Spider-Man, it's a really good game. I like it. Again, I don't like the culture of I hate it or I love it. Like, I think it's good, but it's just, I liked 1 more. I liked 1 more personally.
Maybe 1,
but it's still good. So that said, guys, let's move on to our next topic. We got some actually update here. And again, this sort of leads us into a bigger picture train of thought, I think. But Hot Toys posted an announcement saying that they update, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Kaisa? Kaisa from League of Legends, you know, the video game that, you know, is very, very popular. Just as far as 1/6 circles, I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it. But Hot Toys did go ahead and say that they updated it. They talked about sort of updating the facial features, the head sculpt, the hair sculpture, stuff like that. So they went ahead and updated this one. And my question mostly being like, is this move worthy of praise or criticism? Because it's always great when a company updates a figure and makes it better and improves it and communicates that update to customers, because then, you know, I pre-ordered something and it actually got better than when I pre-ordered it. But the criticism aspect comes into play when you're talking about, is this the right figure to do that with? Because there's probably any number of figures that collectors would have liked an update for that they didn't or won't receive one for. Mace Windu, for example, like, you know, the head sculpt probably needs some work. Is it going to get it? Probably not, it sounds like, right? Maybe we're being pessimistic. I don't know. But Keco, I got to ask you, is this move worthy of praise or criticism? How do you view it?
I'm going to criticize you for making this a topic because...
Well, because of this fucking figure, is that?
Yeah, I mean, for one, I have no idea who this is. When it was initially announced, I had no idea who it is. And I'm going to use my few moments to not talk about this, but rather say, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and at Instagram, you know, check out my reels and stuff.
Dude, because shameless fucking plug, dude.
Because in all seriousness, I feel like this is a troll job because for all the people, because immediately Nick messaged me and said, fucking bitches, I can't believe they get he's like the gall of them to send this and saying they're updating that when they haven't even looked at Black Suit Toby yet. Those are the ones that people are really upset and actually being visibly vocal about. As I said, don't know who this is, don't know what was wrong or what they changed. I'm great. That's great. Kaisa, and if you're a League of Legends simp and this is your girl and this is awesome, I had no idea that people were even upset about it or that it wasn't proper. Is Arcane the same thing as League of Legends? Is that right?
Yeah, it's like a spin-off, isn't it? The TV show. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm talking out my ass because I don't know. So yeah, great, cool. But this just opens up the more people complaining, saying, why would you fix this figure and not something that more people are more concerned about? That's my only criticism. And
we are getting a lot of comments, and I do recognize that people are saying how popular this game is worldwide and how it could bring in new collectors. So there could be that element that we're missing. That's fair. That's fair criticism to say, like, maybe we are underestimating the worldwide scope and popularity of this game. And Hot Toys felt this is a really important one to get right, to bring in those new collectors. But would they even notice the difference? Would be the question. I don't know. Optical, what do you think? I mean, is this move worthy of praise or criticism for Hot Toys? What do you think?
To somebody who's really deep into League of Legends, I've been playing League of Legends for 8 years now.
Have you actually?
So you're the subject matter expert here, right?
Yeah, he is.
I have no idea who this person. I didn't even know this was released. Did I even make a preview video of this one? Probably not. But while Keco was plugging his website, I went to Google and I was just like, all right, what did they change? Because I can comment on this.
What did they change?
It looks like the face kind of is more animated now, I suppose. Maybe it's supposed to look like that. So to answer the question in hand, sure, let's praise them. Because I don't think, well, I don't know if she's supposed to look like that. So I can't really comment on that. But because maybe she got worse or better, who knows? But let's pretend she got better. Then sure, I'll praise Hot Toys because they could have ignored this and move forward. I think they've only did one where I feel like people got bamboozled, and that was the Tony Stank. Because you can improve something, that's fine. Tony Stank didn't improve. He was a totally different person. that was not Tony Stark. You know, like when he was skinny. That's not what they showed. So that is kind of like, you know, bait and switch kind of thing. So I was just like, all right, that's can't do that. It's like, if you're gonna show something, you're gonna improve something. It's like, all right, you say that, but this is totally different. But in this case, I feel like they communicated it. I hopefully, if you're not happy, that you can cancel it by you know, and then you can still get your NRD. I'm just talking in circles here because I have no idea what this is.
Killing time, dude.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, so how much runtime do we have?
You gotta hit that threshold, guys.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool that they're changing it. But again, like you said, you're gonna open a can of worms if you do this in a figure of this magnitude who has like 7 pre-orders, you know. So
right, it's true. It's true. Well, and again, there's a really good comment here from Star Crash that I want to bring up saying big in Asia. Remember, Hot Toys is an Asian company, not American. I always find this a very interesting discussion because yes, that is true. And yes, we don't know their analytics data, whatever, as far as their numbers and where they sell more or whatever. But like the vast majority, if not almost all of their licenses are North American licenses, as far as like Star Wars and Marvel and shit like that. And like, of course, yeah, this could be big in Asia and that's who they sell to. And yes, those countries do love American shit, but I think they're a worldwide brand. To me, it would be more a matter of, yes, we're bringing in new collectors and yes, we can hit that Asian market, but I don't know. I've always wondered that. It's like, is that their primary market really? I mean, I guess it is, but it's not like America means nothing. So, you know, like Sideshow would have no reason to exist at that point, right? So, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you ever find that conversation interesting?
I mean, I certainly do, and I certainly agree that it is, you know, it is an Asian company, and naturally, right. But as what you just said is that they have shown that their bread and butter is Iron Man and those North American and those North American licenses. Yeah, I understand it's cool, but I think the point of this is why make an announcement about this figure as opposed to the ones that people are complaining about. We understand, you know, they could bringing in new collectors, you know, hitting the demographic that works for them in their business model. That's fine. We get that 100%. I understand that U.S. collectors are not the only collectors on the map, but when a majority of sales are consisting of Iron Man, Spider-Man, Batman, those are the ones you want to work on and give updates to, in my opinion, because though people that do care about those licenses get mad when they see those things. And I understand not everything revolves around, you know, US collectors. We get that. But that's all I'm saying with that.
Yeah, makes sense. And I again, it's not necessarily to argue against that point. I just find it, you know, I always find it an interesting, compelling discussion because, like, I don't know, I don't have their sales numbers, but I do know the American market is a big one for them, and I do know it's clearly a very important thing to everyone. But yeah, I mean, look, I would say I'm glad they updated the figure. I'm glad it's getting improved and bettered for everyone who wants it. I think it's inevitably going to create a problem where people are like, well, why didn't you update this figure or that figure? So that's why, again, sometimes communicating that stuff is like almost, it backfires. Like when InArt talks about like, oh, we're going to delay Batman. And then people are talking about, oh, they delayed Batman. Like what the fuck? And then this and that. So that's why Hot Toys probably just updates shit and doesn't say anything. Like why even post anything at all half the time? Because then you're created any number of discussions. So yeah.
Did the pre-orders you think would really be changing based on that update? I would think. Is that going to drive more people
question, to right?
That's why use a post, as you said, that invites criticism. If, you know, if silence is a more, you know, profitable way to go about running the business.
Right.
Maybe it did improve. Maybe we just don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, maybe this is a more Asian targeted figure. Of course, there's US people who play League of Legends, and I'm sure there's millions of them, but it just, maybe it is a figure that we're just not hearing about as much on social media because, you know, it's something that's more over there than here. So could be that. Could be maybe we're isolated and we just don't know shit. So, but it's good to speculate, I guess. But that said, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the MCU, right? This is it's a very interesting spot for Disney right now, as far as Star Wars, as far as Marvel, as far as like most Disney things going on right now. And I want to ask the question again, we got to think about that next year in 2024, which we're almost there to, we're almost in December and we're almost going to hit 2024, you know, in what, like 30, 40 days, whatever, however many days it is. I don't know. I'm stuck in math, but regardless, in 2024, we have one Marvel movie hitting theaters. And that is Deadpool 3, right? So what in the world is Hot Toys going to produce for Marvel in 2024? Because you have one Marvel movie dropping. And of course, I think it's going to have a lot of cameos. Again, there's the rumor of Taylor Swift. Hot Toys could make a Taylor Swift Hot Toy. And if that's the case, think of all those people that are going to be Swifties that are super fucking excited because they're going to get a Taylor Swift Hot Toy. It's probably going to happen. And there'll be other cameos and things like that. Maybe they'll milk. Like, I know people have said that film's going to make $1 billion. It very well may. It very well may. We'll see. But that said, we have one movie in 2024. So what is Hot Toys going to do? They're going to dip to reissues, remakes, 2.0s, figures that should have been made that never got made. Keco, what do you think the strategy? What would you speculate for Marvel 2024 Hot Toys? What's the strategy?
Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man.
Really? Okay.
100%. You know it's coming. On Thanksgiving of all days, they dropped the Iron Man Mark 6. They're like, hey, you know, happy Thanksgiving, bitches. Here you go. Iron Man. Boom. And so, but in all honesty, that is going to be their playbook. It's going to be the sellers, the things that they need to reissue. I think you're going to see the Mark II that people have been clamoring for. You know, I think you could possibly even see another quarter scale Iron Man. You could see possibly, I think we're coming up on some anniversaries of some movies. So whenever there's those anniversaries, there's going to be those opportunities. Damn, they may end, if they've done Spider-Man 3, they may end up going back to, you know, Spider-Man 2. They may end up doing some stuff from who knows. But yeah, the Deadpool stuff is going to be a huge one, but those are going to be the announcements that comes out in July. So you can expect probably a couple months where they're just going to have to be catching up a little bit. This strike is going to be, the strike's in the past now, but it's just kind of like when we did the COVID stuff, you know, all the business productions, you know, followed behind all that. There was like a tidal wave of delays that came from that initial bomb that dropped on it. So now that the strike is over, the cloud is basically moving out. And so we're going to have lots of things just sitting around. So if they want to make money, they're going to figure out, okay, let's go back to those old licenses. And I would love to see, and I know you said what Marvel Hot Toys will be produced, but it's going to have to go to the older licenses because there is nothing. So what else are you going to do? I mean, you have to go with something that you already have. And maybe they'll go back to finally giving us that Jeremy Renner Hawkeye, you know, from the Hawkeye film that we saw teased. I mean, perfect example. You know, that's the one of the things I'm kind of looking forward to there. So,
well, I'm trying to think too, Keco, like, you're probably going to see more artisan Marvel Hot Toys, I would assume. Like, you'll probably get, like, I would expect a Loki, to be honest. Like a Loki, a Thor, like you said. I think that would be the perfect opportunity to go back and say, Endgame Hulk. Like, why not? Right? At that point, people will love that Avengers Hulk figure. Why not go ahead and remake it and, you know, do it better? So that could be something. But do you think we would see anything like Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, stuff like that? I mean, you think so?
We've talked about that a lot. I would love that, but I don't know if there's a lot of people. Here we are 5 years removed, super excited about the Black Order.
Right.
When Thanos is sitting discounted already.
That's true. You know? Optical, what do you think about this?
I think we're going to see a Captain Marvel.
We're going to see another Stan Lee Barber reissue.
It'll be like, all right, guys, be ready for another 3 years.
Well, they got to drop Marvel's figures, so that's going to be something. But
I think they have to make at least one
or two. Yeah,
I think they have to. I don't think they want to, but I think they will have to.
Right.
I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I mean, just look at the sales for Captain Marvel. I mean, the deluxe is still there. They can't get rid of it. And then they put in Captain Marvel from the great movie Endgame, and it's still there. And it's a part of Endgame, and it's still there. So can you imagine their excitement? I was like, oh, God, damn it, they made a movie. We'll see that. I think we're going to see one of those. I think we'll see a Loki. I don't know. Maybe the last one, because that's the only, you know, like when he's sitting on the throne. So that's the only Loki that I can see that's kind of different from what we currently do have, right? So I think we'll see a Loki. I'm pretty sure they're excited to make another Loki. I was like, God fucking damn it. Just like, can't even sell Endgame Loki.
Right.
Just like,
well, they probably got to make 2 Lokis from the show. Not to spoil too much, but I think they probably got to make 2.
Yeah, maybe. And they were like, we can't even sell the guy from Endgame. And then, like Keco said, I think they're gonna remake Mark 42 just because it's safe. Because remakes are so hot right now that no one wants to buy Mark 46. Remember when people are clamoring for Mark 46 and Mark 5 and War Machine Mark 1? They're all sitting now. Because I think people are just Iron Man out. But they're gonna make them because they already got the molds, and you know, it's safe. They're not gonna lose a ton of money. Well, I think Deadpool, whatever that is, it's just gonna be there. But other than that, yeah, you're right. Like I think they're gonna make the Hulk, but if they do, they gotta make Banner. Yeah, it was like we're gonna release a Hulk so we can sell another figure because Hulk is gonna sell.
That original Banner was terrible, so they really do need another Banner.
Remake that, yeah. And they could make that, give it Loki's scepter with the stand and stuff, and do it like what they did. Yeah, I mean that
so cool. I think they can do that just to ride this tide because the height of Hot Toys is really Avengers. It's not Star Wars. When Avengers hit, that's when Hot Toys like, man, we're printing money. But now, even with Star Wars, and you know, they need Marvel. I feel like they're so longing for Marvel to be good again. So God,
yeah, because those are marketable figures. No one wants people in robes, really, if you're not really a Star Wars. I mean, because outside of the main characters and the aliens looking things, you know, talking about the Ahsoka line, I'm sure we'll talk about. The bright colors is what made the Marvel figures so successful, is because kids wanted them, adults wanted them, girls wanted them, boys wanted them, everybody wanted them because they were cool. They really filled out a shelf display. You look at your Star Wars display, there's lots of browns, blacks, and, you know, whites or whatever. Those are the only colors. But you look at a Marvel shelf,
very colorful. But I will say Loki in robes would sell. I do think that one.
Oh, that green robe with them slippers.
Yeah.
Come on.
With those Crocs, dude. It's pretty much those God Crocs.
Did somebody made like a custom of that? He's holding like Christmas lights and all that.
Yeah, they used this head from the SL Customs. That's the one.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Someone's already made a custom. Yeah, that one's gonna get made, so it's gonna get made. But of course there could be maybe they go and do like sort of post-credit scene type shit, which I'm not gonna spoil the post-credit scene for the Marvels. I have seen it. I do know what it is. Maybe it's something like that from that
Fraser Crane.
Yeah, dude, exactly that.
I would love Fraser Crane.
That's one, dude. Yeah, but maybe they do some shit like that. You know what I mean? Maybe they do some really cool Marvel stuff. I saw a comment Hulkbuster reissue from Carl. Yeah, they could. They could.
We tried that though. Remember?
Yeah, they did.
We tried that.
Maybe Sideshow was like, please don't. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna get a Wolverine, you'll get a new Deadpool, you know, there's gonna be some cameos and some wild shit in that film. So really just remains to be seen what wild shit that we're gonna see. But I will say there's gonna be some fun stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So looking forward to that one. Anyway, guys, thanks for your thoughts on that one. I do think, yeah, more artists in Marvel, more other remake Marvel stuff, 2.0s, maybe some reissues here and there, but they're probably going to make every Spider-Man from the game too. Like, you know, most of the Spider-Man figures from Spider-Man 2, they're going to be like, yeah, that's
the anti-venom suit almost as a lock, I'd assume.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. And of course, maybe the Miles suit at the end. So it's going to be pretty cool. That's it, guys. We got a couple more topics that we want to hit. So let's move on to our next one. I want to ask the question here. Are we thankful, considering today is the day after Thanksgiving, we're on Black Friday, are we thankful for the direction that 1/6 scale is headed? And of course, you could look at this optimistically, you could look at this pessimistically, but regardless, for me, I'll start by saying, yes, I am. Yes, prices are going a little bit up. However, quality is also going up. And as collectors, we'll do pretty much anything to budget our money to get the highest quality collectible that we could realistically afford. And we'll justify it. We'll be like, oh, Keco, you know, we talked about this when I was in Tennessee. We were like, well, we'll just go to Aldi because it's cheaper, right? We'll go to Aldi. We'll fucking go to Aldi instead of going to Publix or wherever because it's cheaper. But then we'll be like, but I need that deluxe hot toy though, instead of the standard. Like that's just how us collectors think. That's what we do. We justify it in a number of ways. And, we go there, remember, Keco, we walked around the mall. We saw that store and it was like, this shirt is $100. Like that's fucking nothing, dude, compared to what was it called? A figure.
Yeah, we went into one of those like high-end Gucci stores or whatever it was, and it's like, oh, look at this leather jacket or leather shirt or whatever it was, like $600. Like, I'd never buy this coat, but yeah, we go and buy $600 worth of figures. No problem.
Right, exactly.
Like, we can't buy clothes, but we can buy figures.
Exactly. But Keco, so are you thankful for the direction 1/6 scale is headed in the last year and where you see it going? I know it's a broad topic, but what do you think about that?
You can take this any number of ways. Are you excited for the community and the growth and the interaction? Sure. Are you excited for the offerings? Are you excited to, finally get those pieces in your collection that you've never had? I mean, for me, 100%, I'm super excited that, as I said before, I will finally have a Grand Admiral Thrawn in my collection, which, once again, thanks to Disney for putting a live action version of him up. That's what made this all possible. So, shout out to Disney for doing something right. But I never thought when I was first getting into collecting that I would have a fully articulated fully, what's more I'm looking for? Real to life looking figure of one of my favorite characters. That's awesome. And the thing I think that's most exciting is that, as you'd mentioned, things will continue to get better. And that's just the way it is. And that's just an upward trajectory. You've seen, and I think you even talked about the famous types, the George Lucas figure, the Maverick figure. Those were god awful. And that was only like 20 years ago. I mean, even in the past, looking back at some of the figures I've had when I think they're maybe like 10 years old. I mean, some of the originals, look at the evolution of the Steve Rogers head sculpt, with Captain America from the very first one to the Endgame one. It's night and day. They continually improve. So if you're that type of person that wants to have the best representation of something in figure format, then yeah, you have every right to be excited. And knowing that more people are getting into this hobby, such as I'm talking about vendors and, companies, whether that be InArt, JND, Hot Toys, and anybody else that wants to come up. There's so many offerings. And I think that's awesome to be able to have things at your disposal. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah. I didn't realize, by the way, that Spec has the InArt Joker 2-pack in stock. So I just pulled it up just for this picture, but apparently they do, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize anyone had it in stock still, but they do. So Optical, what do you think, man? I know, like I said, I always bring up your sort of resume and your experience with 1/6 collecting. I mean, are you excited the way it's headed right now? Because it's definitely different than what it's been for you in the past.
Dude, back then, I never would have thought, if you talked to me in 2012, that we're gonna have articulated fingers in a
Right.
non-Iron Man. I'll be like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But now, like back then, we're waiting for a DX just to get rolling eyeballs. It's called purse back then. I think it's single eyeball rolling system
Yeah,
now.
it's a
You
good
gotta
point.
wait for a DX to have that. Now every release has that. So yes, you gotta be excited for this, man. Like, cause here's the thing: like, even if you're new, if you just started now, or you're a veteran of this, you always have option. The option is always great. Yes, there's no MCU, but guess what? There's MCU out there inside you. They're actually discounted. So it's not like they're gone. They're just not gonna make more. But like we're talking about, like the MCUs are there, discounted, and then we're seeing Predators again. Where there's John Wick, who has 2 head sculpts for 285. Two heads, not no, one head sculpt with 2 hair.
Right.
With purse for 285. And now we got JND. InArt is now being not completely licensed, but at least you can buy them from Big Bad or Pop Culture. Now I don't have to deal with Hong Kong resellers if I don't want to. So things are progressing. You can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it as it's getting more expensive, which some are, but you can also look at it in a positive way where we're moving forward. So you always have a choice. You don't have to buy the InArts or the JNDs. You can stick with Hot Toys, and even at that, they're still moving forward. Because like I said, now you don't have to have a DX. Maybe DX is going to be phased out because everyone has rolling eyeball system now. This 2 years ago, that John Wick would have been $320 or $330. Look at Thor, Love and Thunder. Now we have somebody like John Wick, which is sought after. But now Hot Toys can't really price him a lot because you don't want him to get closer to InArt Superman. Because if you make him 350, now you're closer to InArt Superman. Maybe they'll just buy InArt Superman at that point because he also has 2 head sculpts. So this is a great time, whether you are new, old, trying to get out of the hobby, because the more you have here, the more, well, it's kind of sucks if you're trying to get out of the hobby because you can't sell your shit.
It's tough. Yeah, you can sell for half price.
It's gonna be tougher to sell, but it's exciting. I'm not trying to get out, so I guess I can just speak for that. But it's exciting. Whether I'm gonna buy it or not, I would love to be a part of it.
I think so too, bro. And I think everyone in the chat is excited too. I mean, look, we got more competition than ever for Hot Toys. We got, a lot of new characters being made. There's some third-party companies doing some really good work too, making some really good things that people have always wanted. And I think it's just a good time, man. The 1/6 scale collecting is still like a very, I feel like, popular sort of collecting environment. Of course, maybe there's some people leaving the hobby for any number of reasons, mostly probably economic related and things related to, their job or family or whatever. Everyone has their reasons, but I think it's exciting. You're getting a lot of innovation and updates and changes and competition and new characters. And I think, it's just, of course, the prices are going up, but the quality is going up. And those two tend to be parallel to each other and go up together symbiotically. So I think that's something that happens. So I'm excited about this John Wick 2, man. I think it's great. And of course I put the Predator. That was probably one of the reasons I got some people upset on that list I did with the 20. I put Predator at number 2, I think. And some people were really upset with Predator, the fact that it's $395 or $390, whatever. But I love this figure, dude. I cannot wait. I love this movie so much, and it's better than Wanda from Multiverse. I'll just say that. Say that just for Keco, so he knows. But I'm super excited. But I think it's pretty cool. I'm thankful as well. I'm thankful for the community. I'm thankful for everyone's engagement with these type of live streams and just talking about the figures. And of course, it's like-minded people. Like when I went to Tennessee, Keco and I, just talked about fucking figures and just went to visit Replay Toys and all these other places. Like that never would have been possible without 1/6 scale collecting. So it's definitely changed my life for the better. So, and I think that everyone in the chat, it's probably changed your life for the better. I would hope so anyway, considering you're here. That said, we got a piece of news actually that I didn't put on the show docket. So I'm just going to pop quiz you guys. Someone dropped a comment earlier, so I didn't put it on there because I didn't think people would care, but we'll just talk about it real quick. So this is the Spider-Man figure that Hot Toys announced recently, saying that it's an exclusive Marvel Comics figure actually, and there's going to be a sideshow announcement. Apparently, there's going to be a limited quantity, but it's a very limited Marvel Comics Spider-Man figure with a comics inspired base. It's an exclusive type of figure. It is Spider-Man, but Keco, do you think the diehard 1/6s are gonna show out for this one? What do you think?
That little thing at the top that says exclusive, because especially if they do the Lotto Q thing with Hot Toys on Sideshow, people are going to try that. But damn, the little goblin, that is super cute. Like I do want.
Are you getting this?
I don't think so. For as many, if it's on Sideshow, I'll try for it, and I'll probably just try to flip it type of thing. But I have so many Spider-Man, and I feel like this is just the classic suit again, which is probably one of the worst figures I do own. And I do love the camera holding hand. That's really cool. I love the goblin. The base is something I would not use because I don't have the room for it. And then a lot of people aren't happy about like the metal lenses. And that's a big thing. If they were to make them, and I also think it's interesting, like this leaked essentially from like a Hot Toys Japan account, and then Hot Toys officially posted it, but it was just one picture. So I'm wondering if they like are going to show more pictures with like more. They're like, oh shit, we got to put something out there, and they're like, hey, more information coming soon, and maybe they'll show the different eye sculpts or head sculpts or something like that you could do, because I don't feel like this is a complete figure just yet. It is a Hot Toys exclusive or whatever, but I'll try for it. But I'm not going to feel upset if I don't get it for sure.
Yeah, see, I'm not a huge comic book reader. I've never actually read a comic book.
There's no posability there at all.
Really? Yeah, I've always been more of a movie guy. The Goblin is pretty cool, actually. I do like the Green Goblin. But I mean, Optical, is there any interest on the part of you for this figure at all?
A tiny bit, just because of that red thing on the top. Because if they can sell Batman,
he's got a camera, bro. He's got a camera.
If they can sell the blue Batman in like 3 hours, this would sell. I'm just
Keco bought one of those. Did he tell you?
If they could sell that, this would be gone too. Like if that's how it is, right? Like the lottery, whatever. Because honestly, out of all the Spider-Mans, if you look at that, the classic suit is the one that's out of, that you can't buy anymore. Because people just have this nostalgia in them when they see that. And then and that is a classic suit from the game. This is the classic suit from the comic book. And I know the eyes is kind of like throwing people off. And I also think that he should be a little bigger, because I remember reading the comics when I was young. He's more, it's more jacked than this. So if they do both of those, but like he said, like I don't need the base. It's too big. Is there interest in me? A little bit. I don't want to say no, but it looks cool, because I did sell my classic suit Spider-Man, because like he goes, like I it's one of those things where you buy it, it's like, oh man, this is gonna be great. I can add this, and then you actually have it. And I was like, damn, where am I gonna put this guy? Like
it's like a quarter scale, dude.
Taking up space, but I can tell you I didn't lose a ton of money with him when I sold him, because he's sold out. And I think if you buy this, that's still gonna happen, because people just like classic, they're just cool.
Yeah, I guess so. And I know there's been some criticisms like in the chat about the accuracy of this comic Spider-Man, but again, not necessarily my forte. I think it looks like a pretty cool figure. I think the base is pretty cool. It looks kind of Spider-Verse-y in the base. And it's an exclusive. If Hot Toys knew this probably wouldn't be the most high-end mover that they have, so they were like, it's kind of like Wenwu and Suit, right? Like, why not make it exclusive? Get people a little bit jazzed about it, excited, get them feeling a little bit FOMO, and get them to buy it. So that's would be my impression. They knew, say, we want to do this. We don't know if everyone's going to buy it. Let's make it exclusive and go from there. So for those who want it, I think it's pretty cool. For me, going to be an easy pass. That said, let's talk about one more topic that we have. This was not on the docket, so I apologize, guys. I'm throwing this one on you. So you just have to go off the cuff, and I think it'll be pretty exciting. That said, would you rather have, I think I asked this question to maybe not the panel, but I asked it in a poll before. Would you rather have Hot Toys or InArt make a figure that you really want? So if there's a figure that you really have been wanting made, do you say, you know what, I'll wait for InArt? Or do you say, I'll buy this from good old Howard Chan and JC? I want Hot Toys to make this figure. Keco, I'll start with you. I'm going to bring up just a couple, one side-by-side example that I think will really give us a clear picture, right? So this is one. At the time, if these two, say this Hot Toys Artisan Joker or the regular Joker, whichever you prefer, maybe those two, that was on pre-order along with InArt, what would collectors have chosen? What would you have done? And also, I mean, who would you rather make the figure that you really want? Which company do you believe in more?
Ugh. I feel like this is a trap question if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, let's fucking do it, dude.
I told you originally when this Artisan Joker was released, massive L. And I still feel like the head sculpt is not there. I think the tongue thing is kind of strange. I think the hair's too thick. And I really believe, and I'm not just saying that, I really believe the InArt is the superior sculpt, I think. And we don't know yet because we don't have this one in hand. So who knows what they'll end up doing. To me, I feel like that was absolute perfection. And everyone's like, well, you could pay $1,500 and get your own, custom one that's a million times. No, I don't want to do that. So as far as realistically available, sure, that's by far the best Joker that's out there. So we'll see what the artisan comes. So the question really is, though, who do I want to make it? Well, if we're going to play that game, I don't know when I would ever be getting some of these things. So if I want speed and to be able to have something in my collection, Hot Toys all day long. If I want perfection, then sure, I want InArt to do it. If I want to be able to purchase it with the opportunity for customer service if something went wrong, Hot Toys. If I want to just take a shit in the dark and just hope, InArt. It's literally like flip a coin. And I don't know if there's anything. People were asking the questions like, which figure? I don't know. If I were to say, honestly, if you say, all right, Kev, you got one figure coming out. This is going to be the last figure you have or whatever. Because of all the ones I already have, I'm not taking any out of my collection. You get one more figure. Who's going to do it? And it was InArt Daenerys that actually turns out to be good. I will go with that.
Really? Okay. So if Hot Toys said we're going to make an InArt Danny, you'd be like, I'll take the InArt one. I'll wait for InArt. Interesting. Okay. So again,
because I feel confident enough based on what we've seen. And here you go. I'm giving InArt their praise. I feel confident enough that it would be a well-delivered figure. And that is the biggest hole in my collection because the Danny figures I have look god awful. So I would the 301s are bad. And so to be able to complete my Game of Thrones display, I would want the definitive best looking version of Danny available.
Okay. Yeah, definitive version, dude. There we're back to that conversation. So Optical, what about you, bro? I don't know if you own an InArt figure yet, but which would you put your faith in here?
They've actually made two of the figures that I want. One is this Joker. So I chose Hot Toys for that.
Did you? Okay.
I did. I pre-ordered not this.
You went sculpted though, right?
I went sculpted. And that is more of, I feel like the sculpt is better on Hot Toys. The hair is not. But what's better on Hot Toys was the price. So I went with Hot Toys. I feel like, and this is to me like just the sculpt itself, because I've never liked the eyes on the InArt Joker. It just feels like one is looking one way and the other one's kind of looking straight on. I've never seen one that is like, just, and maybe they need to go back to purse, which is when you control the stick, both eyes move at the same time. Because this one just looks like, I mean, on the prototype, it does look great, but I've seen like collectors, which is, I don't know, it just feels awkward. But I went with Hot Toys due to the price. Am I saying it's that better than InArt? No, I'm just saying I feel like it's between LED and mini LEDs, at that point. Just like I can't fucking tell the difference. All right. So I could tell the difference in InArt, but I'm not willing to pay twice. So let's just put it that way in Joker. The other figure that I really want was Aragorn. Hot Toys didn't make one. What I did wish was that Aragorn was available at, Pop Culture or Big Bad, because I really don't want to roll the dice in Hong Kong with Aragorn, but it's really, really good. Now, would I want Hot Toys to make an Aragorn? Yes, so I can make a fair comparison, maybe look at the price. But Aragorn, the InArt Aragorn isn't too outrageous, even though it's out of my price range, because even at this stage, I feel kind of dirty paying $450 to $500 for one figure. Even though I've paid like thousands, like the one behind you, you spend like maybe 20,000, 30,000, whatever the case is. I still feel kind of dirty paying $500 for one figure. So I don't know. So, but yeah, Aragorn, I wish Hot Toys would have made one. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them, but I would like to see that, like how close they can get to InArt and what's the difference. And then I'll make a decision from there.
Because I mean, there are a couple ones like Joker, for example, we talked about, Pennywise, now this Batman, that there are going to be head-to-head direct comparisons, right? But it's going to, I'm sure it's going to continually happen over time. It just depends on the figure. But this is a really tough one, man. And again, it's a pure hypothetical. It's a fun discussion, but Dude, honestly, man, it's so tough because you got to factor in everything, because we're not just talking about the quality. We're talking about the delivery window, which InArt overall has delivered in a good window, 15 to 18 months, whatever, right? It's just a matter of the batch system, and people get annoyed with that, and I get it. And, any issues you might have and so forth. But it's, yeah, I don't know, man. But if we're thinking about just the overall package of what's being offered thus far, Hot Toys versus InArt, most collectors are going to want the best quality they can reasonably afford again, right? So it's just InArt. Like, it's almost like, for a sports reference, in fantasy football, when you draft someone, or in the NFL draft, when you draft someone, they go for like the high ceiling type player. That's picking InArt, right? You're like, I'm drafting for the ceiling. I'm drafting for the most sort of a highest quality potential. But Hot Toys is like the safe option. Like, it's going to be really good, but maybe it's not quite as good as InArt for certain figures. Maybe it's better. Who knows? But InArt, you're drafting on that potential. It's like drafting a rookie. Right, you're like, oh, Saquon Barkley was really good as a rookie, right? Like, I'm gonna draft someone like that. But that's kind of how it is, and that's kind of how I feel. That's probably why I would choose InArt personally. Like, say all the licenses were available to both companies. InArt can make Star Wars, InArt can make Marvel, whatever, and you had the choice: InArt Anakin Skywalker or Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker. Now that would be a very interesting comparison. I think a lot of people would be like, I might take the InArt, right, just for the upside, but.
The thing too, Will, is we're not factoring a lot of things in here too. Kind of like what Keco alluded to earlier. Like, we're talking about pure quality. If we're talking about just pure quality, InArt would stomp all over Hot Toys on whatever they do. I would say that out loud. Here's the problem though: that Joker that got sold for $600, you got to factor that in, because what if JND walks into the picture and they're better than InArt, and then they made Aragorn? So now your Aragorn is basically just second tier, and you can't sell them. So you got to look ahead as well. Kind of like you put that in your drafting. Maybe you thought you drafted, and I'm not saying InArt is Jamarcus Russell, but his number 150 ceiling is really high, and then all of a sudden, that happens. The thing is, it's hard to just focus on what's in front of you. Like, because if we're going to talk about just quality, man, I mean, it's no comparison. InArt is going to win 9 out of 10. I would say, even if you give them all Hot Toys licenses and then you give them, it's like, all right, do all of these. I would say they're gonna nail all of them. Well, we don't know, because now they're gonna, their factory workers are gonna be overtired. But
that's true.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, to me, a part of what you buy from InArt is the collectability factor to it. Would you retain that over time? We don't know. As far as this Joker, no. Are we gonna see that on Gandalf? All of a sudden JND comes in, you see the fault in InArt's Gandalf. It's like, well, did you see that? Yeah, the hat is not that straight. And it was like, oh, look at the JND. Are we gonna see? We're gonna hear that? Who knows? So it's hard. It's just hard to invest that much right now with this unknown. I don't know. Yeah. It's just me.
It's true, bro. And that's why I think it's a fun discussion. Again, just to gauge people's excitement levels for InArt and their excitement levels for Hot Toys. Hot Toys is also like the standard, right? Generally what they offer. Of course, they innovate, but it's like, it's the safe option. And people are like, I want to go for the risky one. And that's kind of what, not the InArters are risky. They're just the newcomer, right? So that's kind of how I think I view it. Like, they're less stable in terms of right now, in terms of their delivery and stuff like that to Hot Toys, because they haven't been doing it like them. They've released, like Keco said, 1 3/4 figures, right? So it's a little bit different. So people are willing to roll the dice on investing in a company with the quality being really high compared to Hot Toys, which has been doing it for a long time. So just kind of how we tend to be. So I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that topic. Thank you so much to the chat for engaging on that one. Guys, we are going to wrap it there. We're going to let everyone enjoy the rest of their Black Friday. Do any last minute shopping that you have. We appreciate you guys joining and, of course, contributing to the chat and engaging and all that good stuff. Mr. Keco Collects, dude, thank you so much for joining as always, bro. Is there anything you want to plug? Any video that's dropping after this live stream? Anything special? What's going on?
So we're certainly not going to be dropping any after the live stream anymore, because that was a bust. So I've been trying. Yeah. No one ended up watching them. It was like one of the lowest videos ever. So I'm still trying to figure out that window of when people actually watch. So yeah, there is a new video coming, but I'm not going to tell you when. You'll just get the notification. So of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's make sure you are notified. That way, when it does drop, sorry about that big slap, so it's all good. So check that out. Check out YouTube, check out Instagram. And here's the thing: I'm going up to Cincinnati for the holidays, for Christmas or whatever, and I'm going to be going to Toy Department, their new location, and I would love to go live on TikTok there but I'm 400 followers away. So I still need to get to 1,000. So once we get to 1,000 on TikTok, I'll go live. So I'd love to do that in the next couple of weeks. So I guess I could actually put more content out on TikTok, maybe choose some food, maybe do something like that, and just really build up that following.
That's how you do it, dude. Just eat carrots on TikTok. That's all you need. That's how you build the following quickly. But thanks so much for joining as always, bro. And dude, Optical, thanks so much, man. I know it's been a little while. We definitely got a game again soon, because when we broke out of prison, that was internet history, bro. That was,
dude, I was surprised. I was shocked.
Dude, we broke the internet those nights when we did
not just the internet. I think
we basically became an OnlyFans.
We broke the mountain. That's what we did. That's goddamn Brokeback Mountain, and
it was, dude. It turned into it. So, but Optical, dude, anything exciting coming up on your channel, man?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of videos in the just there rendering somewhere.
Somewhere out in the universe.
Somewhere out there, some Enter-Bay, some No Way Home figures. But most importantly, Shiny and Terrence was asking me earlier, because I put my concern about not getting InArt figures, and I submitted my application to Toys Wonderland, and then they said they sent it back. They gave me a tracking number. Still don't have it, so it was just the application.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So the application got lost in the mail. Yeah,
it got lost in the mail most likely. So they double box it though. So
yeah, they double boxed the lost package. Yeah,
got a tracking. So.
Yeah, you got tracking, and just it's in the shadow realm though.
Yeah,
it's never to be seen again. But dude, thanks so much for joining, guys. Check out Optical 20. Check out Keco Collects. Get Keco to 1,000 on TikTok. You know, Optical's nearing 20,000 from my recollection, so we got to get him pretty close to that. That would be a pretty cool milestone, dude. And for collecting, that's big. I mean, that's, we've been spoiled by, some of Justin's numbers hitting almost 700,000, but like, it's still a niche community. So 20,000 is a lot for this community. So it's pretty cool, man. So guys, let us know your thoughts on the topics in the comments below. If you have any ideas, drop them in the comments below. We can try to respond to those and have a discussion. And enjoy the rest of your Black Friday. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Thanks as always for supporting this channel. There'll be content coming on this channel as well. I'm trying to figure out what my next video is going to be, but it'll be something exciting and fun. I did that top Hot Toys, the 20 Hot Toys on pre-order if you want to watch that. I did 10 figures that are going to make you want to collect 1/6 scale figures. So that one's out there for you. Collection tour, I reacted to Justin's collection. His collection tours, stuff like that. But thank you guys for the support as always. Check out me on Instagram, will.foxification. Lots of fun stuff over there. Thank you so much, guys. I will catch you in the next one, as will these guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks so much. See you later. Bye.